Revealed. Andy Roddick's surprising take on Coco Gauff's negative trait that makes her a superstar. Under the glare of studio lights, former world number one Andy Roddick leaned back in his chair, crossed his arms, and delivered a statement that made the entire tennis world freeze. Coco Gauff's biggest negative? It's also the reason she's a superstar. Reporters blinked. Commentators scrambled for hot takes. Fans replayed the clip again and again. What negative trait could possibly be responsible for Coco Gauff's meteoric rise, her Grand Slam glory, her ever-growing aura of unshakable confidence? What flaw could turn into a secret weapon powerful enough to launch her into global superstardom? The answer, as Roddick would explain over the next few minutes, was far more surprising and far more inspiring than anyone could have expected. And so began the story behind the headline that shook the tennis universe. Tennis, a champion built from contradictions. Coco Gauff is no stranger to being misunderstood. Ever since she burst onto the global scene at 15, she was painted in headlines as a tennis prodigy with impossible potential, a flawless rising star headed straight to greatness. But anyone who has watched her closely knows she isn't perfect. In fact, part of her greatness comes from the cracks, the rough edges, the struggles that reveal who she truly is. Roddick, a man who knew pressure, fame, and glory all too well, recognized something in Coco that many overlooked, a trait many thought was holding her back, yet somehow, incredibly, was pushing her forward. Collision, the negative trait, overthinking. When Roddick finally revealed what he meant, the room went silent. Coco overthinks everything, he said. And yes, that can be a negative. But for her, it's her superpower. Overthinking. The very flaw that has crushed countless athletes under the weight of pressure. The trait that leads to second-guessing, stress spirals, and internal battles with imaginary opponents. But Coco? She turned it into fuel. Roddick leaned forward, eyes bright with conviction. Most players overthink and crumble. Coco overthinks and adapts. She transforms it into strategy, intelligence, and fire. Suddenly, everything about her made sense. Her ability to read opponents mid-match. Her knack for shifting tactics within minutes. Her uncanny emotional awareness. Her maturity far beyond her age. Coco Gauff didn't succeed despite her overthinking. She succeeded because of it. Fire when a flaw becomes fire. Roddick explained that Coco's mind never stops working. She analyzes opponents' patterns, studies their footwork, senses their energy, breaks down rallies like a chessboard. Her brain doesn't simply play tennis. It solves tennis. He described a match he watched where Coco shifted her entire service strategy within a single game because she recognized a subtle change in her opponent's return position. That's the mind of a great general, Roddick said. Most players need a coach to tell them that. She sees it herself. Her overthinking, the trait many once labeled as a weakness, actually sharpened her competitive edge. Instead of panicking over mistakes, she turned them into information. Instead of collapsing under pressure, she assessed it like a scientist. Instead of fearing big moments, she broke them down into manageable steps. Not many players can do that, not even top 10 players. But Coco can, and that's where greatness begins. Sparkle's a mental engine that never sleeps. Coco's team has often spoken about her unusual ability to retain focus. Her coaches once said she asked more questions during practice than any junior they'd ever worked with. Not random questions, not emotional outbursts. Thoughtful, strategic, precise questions. If I push her wide, will she go down the line or cross court 30-30? Does her grip change when she's nervous? Why did she hit her forehand like that after a long rally? Her mind isn't content with surface-level answers. It digs. It dissects. It rearranges everything until she understands the truth beneath the chaos. Roddick explained it beautifully. Tennis isn't just hitting a ball. It's understanding human nature in real time. Coco's brain is built for that. Her overthinking becomes her compass. Microphone, the public sees pressure. Andy sees power. Fans often notice Coco pacing between points. Thinking deeply, adjusting hair, bouncing the ball slowly. They see nerves. They see tension. Roddick sees something else. That's a player processing information. That's her running equations in her mind. He compared her to chess grandmasters, people who seem tense because their minds are moving faster than their expressions can contain. But the crucial difference? Chess champions sit alone in silence. Coco does her calculations while the world screams around her. That's why Roddick believes her mental trait, often mistaken for anxiety, is actually her weapon. Glowing star superstar made from self-awareness. Roddick emphasized another powerful point. Coco knows she's an overthinker. She admits it. She works with it. She doesn't hide from it. That kind of self-awareness is rare in athletes her age. Most young stars fight their flaws. Coco studies hers. Roddick said, self-awareness is the cheat code of greatness. And Coco? She has it in abundance. Through this trait, she manages expectations, embraces criticism, grows intelligently, stays grounded despite fame, remains emotionally mature on and off the court. Her internal world is rich and complex, and she uses that complexity as fuel. Dizzy when emotion meets intelligence. Roddick shared a moment that revealed Coco's emotional intelligence. During a match, she made a sloppy error and shook her head. Commentators criticized her negative body language. But within the next 3 points, she completely flipped the momentum. Roddick smiled when recalling it. She wasn't spiraling. She was recalibrating. That's the difference. Most overthinkers fall into emotional traps. Coco transforms emotion into clarity. Her ability to reset, analyze, and attack makes her dangerous in any match. Trophy the evidence. Her 2025 season. Roddick pointed to Coco's 2025 season as the clearest example of her supercharged mind at work. When he praised Coco's negative trait, it was coming from a place of deep empathy. Only someone who survived the storm could recognize the calm within Coco's chaos. Rainbow turning pressure into purpose. Near the end of the interview, Roddick concluded with a line that perfectly encapsulated the message. If Coco was an overthinker, she wouldn't be Coco, and the sport would be missing something extraordinary. That statement echoed across social media, through the tennis world, and into the hearts of fans everywhere. Because it was true. Her mind, restless, analytical, powerful, is the engine that drives her greatness. Sparkle of the future. A superstar rising with intelligence and heart. The world now waits eagerly to see where Coco's mind will take her next. With her unmatched blend of mental sharpness, emotional maturity, athletic power, strategic intuition, unshakable humility, Coco Gauff stands on the edge of an era defined not just by physical dominance, but by intellectual mastery. And Andy Roddick? He simply opened the curtain. He revealed what many had missed. Coco Gauff's negative trait doesn't weaken her. It crowns her. It defines her. It elevates her. It makes her a superstar not in spite of it, but because of it. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and share. Till next time.